So this album, Starboy, The Weeknd, came out in 2016. This is the follow-up to a pretty well-received album.
For sure.
What's the name of that one?
Beauty Behind the Madness.
Yes, the black and white cover.
Yes.
It was the last look he had with the crazy
The
dreadlock
weird
on his head.
helmet hair. Yeah.
That was a crazy look.
It was. Got him noticed.
It did. And this is a huge departure, like, stylistically and clearly visually.
Yeah,
from that album.
For sure.
And it's crazy because it was the next year, 2015, 2016.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, he capitalized.
Very quick turn for such a monumental change in your
Can't Feel My Face was such a big song. It was so big. And The Hills was on that album.
The Hills was my favorite track on that album.
Yeah.
How crazy is it that
song.
I Can't Feel My Face was nominated for Nickelodeon Kids Award?
It
Teen
not
Choice
only
Award.
was nominated, it won.
Yeah.
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 He references that in one of the songs on Starboy.
He's like pissed.
Well, yeah. He's like, I'm not a teen choice. He's like, they gave me a teen choice for a song about doing blow.
It's crazy.
It's basically what it was.
Yeah, Nickelodeon's got a crazy agenda.
Because that's so clearly what that song is about.
And then they covered him in slime, and they were like, and now it's fine.
Look at it. Look at your hair.
See, it's the slime.
You goofball.
We don't care about content, what it means. Cool song, dude. Yeah. Who's the next teen star we can bring on stage? Yeah. David Dobrik.
I knew that song got massive.
Yeah.
When the lip sync battles were really big. Remember that?
Unfortunately, it's like one of my least favorite trends.
It's pretty dumb.
There's like 7 TV shows about that.
Oh yeah,
shit.
Because Jimmy Fallon.
We've gotten so dumbed down that we're like, it was a departure from music to go to like, and here are people singing covers, and now we're giving them a record deal in front of an audience.
Right.
Now we're just like, they don't even sing anymore.
Right.
Just they're pretending to do it.
Yeah. I saw Tom Cruise lip sync it on Jimmy Fallon, and I was like, oh, The Weeknd's big now.
Yeah.
You know?
It was right after the episode of SNL where Tom Cruise.
Yes,
I was thinking Tom Hanks, where he does the Black Jeopardy.
Can you imagine?
That's what I was thinking in my head.
Hanks?
That'd be hilarious.
Doing a lip sync.
I would love that.
I want to see that.
I would fucking love that, dude. That'd be fantastic. I'm just picturing him like taking off his MAGA hat from the SNL skit and going to the next studio and being like, Weeknd song.
All right, here we go.
Go King.
Well, this album, like you said, is definitely a departure, a growth, a coming out party of sorts.
I mean, he was doing a pretty like standard. This is a weird way to think about it, but the 2015 album was a pretty traditional approach to like experimental R&B.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he had kind of like laid groundwork for himself on that path. Mm-hmm. And then out of nowhere, a new persona comes out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And it hits you right away. First song. Mm-hmm. It's the title track. It's Daft Punk. This album is a Daft Punk sandwich.
Oh my god.
Well, the Daft Punk's the bread because
Yeah.
they do the first song and the last song.
They laid a good foundation.
But the entire album is definitely influenced by what Daft Punk and him worked together. I mean, clearly.
Mm-hmm.
But Starboy it should be lame. It should be lame.
You think so?
To call yourself Starboy?
Yeah, I mean,
it should be.
David Bowie did quite a bit.
I agree. It's not a matter of agreeing. It's an actual thing that happens.
I agree. He did do that.
Yes, sky is blue.
Words are words.
Yes, they are.
In fact.
But anyway, like, maybe I'm thinking about it in the wrong way, but Starboy, it should be lame in my brain.
Yeah, right.
But for whatever reason, it works here. And I think it works because even if you watch the Starboy video, like he's starting to tell a story here of how he became this Starboy.
Mm-hmm. And it's put together and packaged so perfectly, everything down to the cover art.
Yeah.
But I mean, as soon as you turn the record on, if you're do me a favor, listen to this thing in a pair of headphones and tell me that it doesn't sound like you've started the soundtrack to a movie.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It gives off that vibe perfectly.
Yeah.
When I turned it on, my first thought was, I feel like I was manually tuning my radio and I picked up a Rogue transmission. And I was like, I feel like it's like a Rogue transmission from another planet. You know what I mean? Where I'm like, I'm not supposed to be hearing this.
Right.
And it's cool. It's a very different aesthetic.
Yeah, it's like a rogue planet that is 50 years behind us, but also somehow 50 years ahead of us.
Yeah, it's like what's that movie with Bruce Willis and the girl.
Oh, The Fifth Element.
It's like that,
Yeah.
you know, like a slum future,
Yep.
distant planet, also in the past.
Yeah, that's weird.
It's very strange.
Yeah. But anyway, we can dig right in here.
Yeah.
Starboy title track, Daft Punk. It's a fucking banger, dude. Banger.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Great way to set the tone for the record. Even just as soon as those first accent percussions hit, where it goes do 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 do, and it's in the beat, and you hear that because it's a pretty simple beat.
Yeah.
And then Daft Punk is what they do. They go traditional drum beat, but then they add accents and flair to it that make it groove.
Yeah.
And as soon as those tones hit on that electronic drum set, I was like, this is masterful already.
Yeah.
I can tell I'm going to fucking love the direction this is going in.
Yeah. I should note, because I don't even think we've mentioned it yet, is we are recording this before the Super Bowl.
Yep.
He is doing the Super Bowl tonight. I'm very anxious to
He's
hear.
still alive right now, just in case anything happens.
To hear this song. And, dude, this album has 7 singles. 7.
Crazy.
Yeah. And obviously he's going to do Can't Feel My Face. But this is one of the bigger songs that I think will,
for
obviously
sure.
Clean version of it.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I'm a motherfucking Starboy.
Dude, his attitude on this thing is cool. It's like cool, you know?
He's cocky. He's braggadocious. He really fucking dives into this like ego that I think that we all have, and like you said, he's created this persona of. I went through a phase like this where I was partying, I was doing drugs, the ecstasy, the booze, the girls, just that cocky, like I own the fucking world because I'm in my early 20s and nothing can stop me. And this album captures that.
And it also captures the undertones of the vulnerability in that attitude where you go, I still want the same things that everybody else wants.
Because there's moments, we're going to go through this list, there's moments where that will start to trickle through, and then once you get, this is a concept album.
Oh yeah.
And then you get towards the end.
Yes.
And then you get toward the end and you're like, oh, this is growth. This is what he was working towards. He had to go through all of this so he could get there. It's masterful.
Right, and it's long.
It is long.
18 tracks
18
long.
tracks is a little much.
It's a long.
But I'm going to be honest, man. I knew we were going to get into this. I knew. Once I saw 18 tracks, I was like, oh, shit. Here we go.
Once I was done taking notes after 11 songs, I was like, I'm probably close to done. I was like, oh, fuck.
I just don't know what you take out. I really don't.
I do.
Yeah.
I noted.
I think that we're going to disagree, which is fine.
Yep.
Fuck you at the same time.
Well, also, keep in mind, the whole point of this is kind of, we have two different viewpoints going into hearing a record.
Yeah.
I listened to it from what was the creative process behind putting this thing together? Is it streamlined? Did you trim all the fat? What's your songwriting like?
Right.
Are you doing something new? Are you trying to capture a different era? Like all these things are like intricacies in the process, and you're doing it from I'm a fan.
Yeah.
I understand how music works, but it's like a childlike wonder looking at a movie, you know what I mean? And I feel like I'm too engrossed in these things sometimes, and I need someone to anchor me, you know what I mean?
I guess the way I see it is I really think it fits in with this braggadocious theme.
Yeah.
Is that he's got a fucking story to tell. He doesn't care that Can't Feel My Face was so big. He doesn't care that he's a fucking global superstar now.
Right.
He has an album to make. He's going to say everything he needs to say.
He even touches base on the fact that he's like, yeah, someone might have noticed me, but no one made me.
Right.
You know, because everyone's like, yeah, just because Drake fucking picked him up or
fuck
whatever.
That.
He's like, no, fuck that, dude.
Yeah,
we're from the same place.
Yeah.
Cool. There's a lot of people from the fucking same place.
Yeah. It's crazy because it's not the same, but his trajectory into where he is now, into this Super Bowl halftime. I mean, this is the peak.
It's monumental.
You're doing the fucking Super Bowl halftime show. People who don't know you somehow before this, now everybody knows you. The only people in the world who aren't going to know who The Weeknd is are the people still living in the jungle. Because there's still a couple of those, apparently. You know?
Right. It reminds me a lot of Lady Gaga, because when he first started doing shows, he was playing piano at R&B bars, and he was doing it live, and without the heavily stylized reverb and synthesizers and everything. He was writing it all as R&B music, and then when he played live, he had to play it accordingly, because you can't really, without a big budget, you can't capture a lot of that.
Right.
And Lady Gaga, pop star, it's all synth pop, but she was right when she started in New York. She was just a piano player, singer songwriter.
Damn.
Same kind of idea.
Yeah.
One's a lady, one's a guy.
I guess.
Yeah, I've heard rumors.
Penis is a social construct. So.
Right. Sorry. Cancel me.
Creeping into banter. But yeah, I kind of lost my train of thought there, sucking this guy's dick.
I mean, Starboy, great track.
It's a great track.
Great opener.
It's fun.
Good idea to have a single as your number one song.
Yeah. This guy somehow takes things that I find irritating and makes them sound good.
I took note of that because I was like, I feel like he's allowed to do stuff that someone like Dave would normally hate.
Yeah. Like the first verse in Starboy is rhyming the same sound after every sound. But for some reason, I'm like, oh, this works. It's fine.
I heard it on a later track, and in my head, I go, I think it's because he's a talented singer.
Yeah.
And he's mixing the two so well that it doesn't matter. He's not just this thing, so he has to do well at that one thing.
Yeah.
If he's going to do that thing, he can also sing and give it melody.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, it's got multi-dimensions to it, and you're like, okay, this is cool. It works.
Yeah. I guess... So I really dug into like the content here because I mean that's kind of what we're supposed to do when we're doing an album. Or
Is
whatever.
that?
But
shit.
But I found myself thinking of you when we talk about like Ariana Grande, and you're like, yeah, I'm just listening to the music. I'm not really focusing on like what she's saying. I find myself doing that with The Weeknd because the strength of the songwriting process as a whole is so fucking strong. That
it makes you
I can see through some of the shit that I would normally piss me off.
Yeah, when something's really well done, it almost makes you not pay attention to some things because it's so the gravity behind it is so strong that it pulls the things out of your peripheral vision and you just focus in on like, this is just a good song.
Yeah, it's just such an easy listen.
Yeah.
So next, after Starboy, is Party Monster.
I love this.
And this song is fucking crazy. This is him at his braggadocious best. Like, the way I look at Starboy is he's gone through something, and now he's being reborn into this almost like monster of a guy who's just living by the seat of his pants, having sex with as many girls as he can, doing as many drugs as he can.
There's some really good lines about that on this album. Yeah.
And then Party Monster just kind of takes that to the nth degree. Like, he is at his, like, that like, fucking fresh out the gate, like, fucking here I come.
Yeah, so the last couple albums that he had done before this, or I think he did two, that's kind of who he is on the undertones of his lyrics, is he talks a lot about, like, doing drugs, how he idolizes that like party scene, how he's always looking for that girl who's kind of like a tragic mess.
Right.
But it's never like at the forefront. He never really like made it a thing. And this song, he took all that and he goes, this is what I meant with all that. You know what I mean?
Right,
and he put it in a 4-minute song so well.
Yeah.
I mean, the sound library on this track, right when it fucking kicks off, it's dirty, it's dark, it's brooding, it's covered in reverb. I fucking love the sounds from this song. Yeah. They're so good.
It's a very, very, very strong song.
And as soon as the bass drop comes in on the beat, especially with those headphones, I was like sinking into my fucking chair. Like, I love this, dude.
Yep. Beautiful.
This is the one where I said he can do the thing that normally you wouldn't like. Yeah. Is in this song. Yeah.
And then the next song, False Alarm, which was also, there were 7 singles. This was one of them. Actually, holy shit, this wasn't one of them.
Yeah. I can see that this isn't one of them.
Wow.
Quick note. Woke up by a girl, I don't even know her name. I fucking love that line.
It's perfect.
It's so good.
And it's repeated so many times.
And it's catchy.
But it works.
It's a virus.
Yeah.
And it's almost like
Blue is a virus.
Okay. All right. It's almost like he's portraying he's like stewing over this over and over and over in his head.
Right.
He's kind of like stuck on this thought of like, I'm trapped in this lifestyle.
Like, am I really doing this right now?
All the time. Woke up by a girl, I don't even know her name. He says it over and over and over. It's like a motif in his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's like almost like, okay, I got to keep going forward or I got to go back. Like, this second song is like a breaking point. Like, where the hell do I go from here? Yeah.
False Alarm, though. So I don't know how you felt about this song. I understand and I appreciate why this song is the third in this progression. And this is just musically, not lyrical content, because I know that there's a story arc that he's following. So any comments that I make about like the placement of the song, I'm purely talking about from a musical standpoint.
Okay.
But 3 flawless pop bangers in a row would be too much. Somebody might like explode if that happened on a record.
Yeah.
But like he's also, so you have 2 songs in a row that are dark, they're brooding. He's setting the scene, and then all of a sudden you need something to pop.
Yeah.
And this is that pop.
Yeah.
And it's like got this weird, like almost like garage rock kind of feel to it, where it's like almost like punky, where he's screaming and it's chaos and it's really loud and the energy is really high. It's such a huge juxtaposition from those first 2 tracks, where the chorus on this thing is "for so long."
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, okay, bringing us out of it. I appreciate that, and I understand where he's coming from. I just feel like it might have been a little heavy-handed on the vocals a little bit. But I'm not saying that it's a negative thing. I don't think this is a bad song. It's just some of the choices on this thing I think could have been dialed back just a tad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way I took it, and again, I could be I'm reading this album like a fucking book, and I could be reading way too far into it.
Right.
But that was him diving in. Yeah. And now he's having this raucous time. God,
it's like chaos.
I'm fucking old. I just said raucous time.
Right. At the fucking soapbox derby or whatever.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
At the ice cream social.
Drive in. But
they didn't have seatbelts when you were born, right?
No, they didn't. But another thing that I typically find really annoying is chanting in a hook.
Yeah.
Hey, hey, hey. But I was like, okay. I still don't love it.
If you know all that stuff, the chanting, the hey, 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 and like the beat like being like it's such a heartbeat.
Yeah.
And it's so up tempo. I picture people like in a dirty nightclub. The lights are red. Mm-hmm. It's hard to see people.
Right.
And it's like dirty,
yeah,
you know, and people are just on drugs. And it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, and the only people that are there are like it's the only place left.
Yeah,
you know, like,
right.
And he did definitely capture it.
Yeah, Also, you got to think about, you know, as an R&B artist who is at the level that he's at, you have to tour.
Yeah,
doing a song like that, performing a song like that makes it fun.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, I agree. Like I said, this is purely from a musical standpoint, and I don't even think it's a bad choice musically. I just a couple of the elements I could have dialed back on.
Yeah.
What about number 4, Reminder?
Reminder. This was a pretty simple song to me. It was like, you think you know me? You don't.
Yeah.
You know?
Let
me remind you who I am.
Yeah, so like in the sense of like some previous like album stuff, or like...
No, in the storyline.
Okay.
Talking about like he has passed the point of no return into this life that he's gone down.
He's pulling you back into the regular character.
Now he's saying like, you know, I've gone down 4 songs in. I've gone this far. I'm still that guy.
Right.
You know, you may think just because of these stories you're hearing about me that you know something about me, but you don't fucking know anything about me.
Yeah, I mean, there's always more character development when you're doing a narrative like this. It's like, and you can tell this is a complex character.
For sure.
Definitely based on truths in his life, I'm sure.
Yeah.
This song brought me right back into how much I loved it. If this one was number 3...
by simple, I didn't mean
I
bad.
know.
Right.
But yeah, I mean... The production on this thing is like seductive. Mm-hmm. It's slow. It fucking seduces you into loving this track, and it's just...
He kind of shows some range a little bit. Like it's his voice. He can change his voice.
Yeah,
like on a dime.
Yep,
it's very weird.
And he uses autotune in the most tasteful way.
Just colors it.
Yeah,
just colors it.
It helps with the aesthetic and the narrative of the story.
And then he can prove in the next second that he doesn't need it.
Nope. Yeah. I put down a line or a 4 bars from this that I loved so much. Yeah. I'm just trying to swim in something wetter than the ocean. Faded off that double cup, mixing up a potion. All I want to do is make that money and make dope shit. It just seems like all these blank trying to sound like all my old shit.
Yeah.
And that is like so braggadocio.
Yeah.
And it also is like... I'm different than who I was a year ago. He's already calling that his old shit.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we reviewed an album not long ago where you were like, I feel like this is very influenced by Where the Weeknd has gone.
Yes.
And he's in 2016, he was already like, yep, people are already copying me.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, 4 years before he's even like fully influential.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then there was another line. When I travel around the globe, make a couple mil a show, and I come back to my city, I fuck every girl I know. That's the most ridiculous thing to say, and I love it so much. It's not every girl I've dated; it's every girl I know. Like, just some of them is just first. Some of them I just meet them in passing. Yeah. I fuck all of them though.
Yeah, I've never ever been this cool.
Yeah,
but that mindset that fucking mindset of going through something horrible and then diving in to like, I'm just here to have fun, and you can't fucking stop me. There's nothing you can say to me that's gonna that. He's embodying it so perfectly.
And everybody's had that moment where they've nailed something. Like, you know, you walk up to a girl or a guy and you fucking use that pickup line, you nailed it. You fucking got the number. Right. Like you go on a good date, or like you're fucking playing sports and you fucking hit that 3 at the end, game-winning shot or whatever. That feeling where you're like, of course I fucking nailed that shit.
Yeah.
That's
him.
What
this is.
Yeah, that's him. Right. And it's so cool because he's like, I'm going to do a whole song in that one moment.
Yes.
It's so cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You think you know me?
Yeah. I love it.
Oh,
I fucking love it.
Well, the next song.
Yeah.
Rockin'.
Whew.
I mean.
This thing is like other level groovy, dude.
Yeah.
Holy fuck. How do you not groove to that beat?
You can't. I mean, it's impossible not to. And Max Martin.
Right.
Max Martin wrote this.
I didn't know that, but it makes sense because this is one of my favorite tracks on the album.
And I almost knew right away that he's 4 songs on this album, whatever. And I fucking picked up on it before you did.
Yeah, and so here's a note that makes sense because I've told you and I've covered it in the past. One of the tools that he uses is if you're doing something in a verse where you're say for example your verse vocals are like slow and steady and in a lower tone. When you go to the chorus, you do the opposite to make sure that people understand that this is the part that's different than the other part, and I want you to sing along. Right. And this note is the hi-hat opens up in the back half of the chorus, and it opens up. Yeah. And so, like, that's him in a chorus applying that same technology or that same mindset, that same tool that he normally does for a verse chorus on a regular pop song. Yeah. Because the second half of that chorus, it opens up and it becomes this, like, it feels like the dance floor is just full. And, like, it's almost like in a movie where the sound of the people disappears and it's just the soundtrack and you see them living. Yep. That's what it feels like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love this fucking song.
This is a great song. This song puts me, and it sounds different, but there's hints of it in there of like Michael Jackson at his best.
Oh yeah,
you know,
there's a couple of things on this where he's not afraid to show his influence.
Absolutely,
his reverence for the king.
Yes, well,
Elvis.
Yeah, he's influenced by a lot of things, but clearly Michael Jackson, older R&B like that is very, very heavy.
Oh yeah.
He loves to say, I was reading some stuff, he loves to say he was influenced by like Wu-Tang and 50 Cent, which, okay, I can see that. But that could also be like a,
he's like,
see I'm cool.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Right. That's people who work at a record store and they just like a band because they know that they're like nobody else does.
Yeah, right. Yeah. I don't hear a whole lot of Wu-Tang, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
No. There's that one song. It's called Return to the 36 Chambers. It seems like a fucking ripoff. I don't know, man. Number 6.
Secrets.
So these intros on all of these songs, I'm starting to realize they all sound like not all of them, but a lot of them feel like I'm doing that manual dial thing. It almost feels like it's part of the movie. It's that like there's like maybe a recurring theme is that there's somebody like fucking with a radio on their planet or whatever, like hitting it and the fucking transmission starts to come in.
It's weird, right? Because this song immediately dives into like this new wave.
It's different.
It's like
so
who wrote the Secrets, Talking in Your Sleep?
I don't know. But let me just my 2 cents on this track. This is so far out of the first 6 the worst one.
Really?
Yep.
I disagree. This one I thought fit in perfectly.
Yeah.
I it almost like reinforced the sound that he was going for.
Okay.
Like the Romantics. That's what I was trying to think of. Talking in Your Sleep by the Romantics. And like Tears for Fears.
Was that like your graduating song or something?
No.
You danced to your high school sweetheart in 1976?
He's using influence from, what was it, early 80s, late 70s.
Oh, so you were in your 30s.
All right. Say what you need to say.
Sorry. All right, I'm done. We'll keep going. So yeah, there's a whole lot of that, but I felt like it wasn't necessary I feel like I had already understood a lot of that part of the narrative. Okay. And it just felt like this is and once again, there's not a song on this album that I think is bad, except for the Lana Del Rey edition.
Well, it's just an interlude.
Right. But I just think that there's some moments where some fat could have gotten trimmed.
Yeah.
And this is one of those tracks where I was like, it's obviously good, but so far it's the least necessary for the narrative. My take.
Okay. All right.
Number 7.
True Colors.
I love this one.
Yeah, now he turns into D'Angelo.
I know. Holy fuck. And this is the point of the movie where the two characters, they're realizing they actually have an interest in each other.
Yes.
They're like, fuck, this is real.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like it's annoying.
Yeah.
Because he's like, fuck, I got to actually dive into this shit.
Yeah.
And that's where the vulnerability comes in.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he's taken a page out of his own recipe book from his earlier stuff, where he's like, this is a more traditional R&B approach.
For sure,
you know what I mean? It loses a lot of the stylized stuff of like futuristic, crazy sounds and shit.
It's not as neon.
It's very vulnerable.
Yes,
very stripped down. It's very raw.
Right. Yep. Yeah, strong song. You nailed it. You got all my notes there.
Yeah.
More traditional. And definitely like a realization for the character,
right?
That he's still he's reminding himself that he's still the same guy,
right?
He's still looking for something, and this probably isn't.
No matter how much you run from it, no matter how many parties you go to,
right?
It's you. You can't run from you,
right?
You know?
And then the interlude that you just mentioned is the one after that, Lana Del Rey.
I hate Lana Del Rey.
Okay, well, it's pointless, but basically all this interlude is he's having sex with her.
Right.
That's really all it is. And so to me, that was like him just, I'm gonna keep going.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep going this way.
Yeah, like the relationship. Yeah. It's almost like their way of saying like, yeah, the relationship is starting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't really know how Lana Del Rey sings through all that plastic surgery, but that's for science to figure out, not me.
Yeah.
It could have been anybody else. I'd be like, yeah, it's fine, but I just don't like her for some reason.
So the next song, Sidewalks. It's Kendrick Lamar.
This might be one of my favorite tracks.
So this is a great song. I love this song. I don't see how this fits into the narrative, though.
I agree.
Okay.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah.
But it's cool to have a different voice in there because he raps.
Especially, it's fucking Kendrick,
dude. Jesus fucking Christ. This guy, dude, he's an old soul. Mm-hmm. He is so ahead of everyone in his generation. He sounds like he fucking time traveled here from when hip hop was cool.
It's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, right. I cannot wait for him to drop a new record. Dude.
Yeah. I mean, at the beginning, the song starts with a guitar solo.
Yeah.
But you almost can't tell that it's a guitar because it's so fucking. There's so many effects on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which is like the whole thing about like, oh yeah, it's technology from a different planet we don't have. Right. That's why it's an instrument you've never heard of before.
The only thing I could even think of with this song is, I don't know. Don't forget where you came from, like Sidewalks or whatever. But I just don't remember. I just don't understand where it fits in.
I'm
musical, missing something.
In the musical of the movie, it's a lull for sure. It's like if you need to go to the bathroom, go now.
Well, I mean, you don't want to miss the song. It's
sure.
It's just going to be like Christopher Nolan. It's like a part in a Christopher Nolan movie. You're like, what the hell just happened?
Right. I get that. How good is?
Why is there a flashback? What the hell is this flashback?
Right.
You know.
And then the whole time they were like, oh yeah, we were supposed to cut that.
Yeah. It was like that. You know, their record labels like said you need to have Kendrick on this album. He's like, well, clearly I want Kendrick on this album.
Mm-hmm. So I'll find a way to fit it.
I had to think of something, right?
How good is just like I don't know what you call like the cadence of his flow, but yeah. It's like so unique, and once again, it reminds me of like '90s hip hop. Mm-hmm. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I love that he didn't change to become part of the style of the record.
Right.
He's just like, I'm me. If you want me on your record, I'm going to be.
It's like the same thing we were talking about with like Bon Iver or Eminem.
Yeah.
Like when Kendrick is on your track, Kendrick's going to do what the fuck he wants to do.
Right. He's established himself enough to be able to be like, I know you're looking for me.
Right.
So I'm going to be me on your record.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. And this is me at the moment.
Yeah. Number 10.
6 Feet Under.
Yeah, so to me, this melody, it sounded borrowed from earlier in the record.
Yeah, a little bit.
And this track was the first time I felt like it was filler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit. This was, this song is about a stripper.
Yeah.
You know, it's almost clearly once you read the lyrics, like he's at a strip club because he's still partying, he's still doing that, he's still looking for something. But
it's almost like he's trying to trick himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And he's almost like holding her in like esteem.
He's trying to convince himself that he is.
She's a hustler.
Yeah. And he's idolizing that life again.
Right.
He's having a hard time pulling and like realizing that he's okay with letting it go.
Well,
you know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think that I've formed a different story in my head.
Yeah.
Like maybe a little different. We're on the same.
I didn't look up anything.
We're in the same woods. We're just on different paths, I think.
Yeah.
I think. I haven't really either. I just looked up like a couple little things here. I didn't want to actually get like a storyline or whatever. I wanted to try to figure that on my own.
But that's kind of the cool thing about a concept album is it's kind of up to you to make the movie.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I made a movie here.
Yeah.
Like I feel we obviously both did.
Yeah.
But yeah. It was a fine song. I mean, Future's in there,
again,
just fucking blah 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 in the background.
Future, 2 features on this thing.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yep.
Not a traditional approach to features on an album.
No.
I get the Daft Punk sandwich.
Yeah.
I don't get the Future lettuce.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, I guess not. I guess I don't either.
It's like putting bologna and ham. It's like, why don't you just go with one of them?
Yeah, you don't need both.
Yeah.
Next song, Love to Lay.
Yeah. This one took a little bit to get momentum.
Yep.
But the chorus peaks with perfection.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like somebody wrote it.
Is this another one?
Uh-huh.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, this is Mac Martin.
Yeah. So, I mean, I wrote down the chorus peak is perfect.
Right.
It's like masterful again. And this is like one of the few times where you tell me Max Martin wrote a song and part of me goes, I think this is a genuine collaboration.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Instead of just like hiring a gun to come into the studio.
Writers on it.
Right.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
He probably helped them establish the change from the verse to the chorus.
Yes.
Because that's what he's so good at.
He's masterful at it, right? So this one to me in the storyline, and I could be way off here, but he's still going. The other guy's talking to him. The other guy's in the back of his head, like, you want something, you want this, you want that, but he's still trudging. He's still going forward because it's fun. This one, he actually has fallen for somebody that he's hooked up with. He's fallen for her. But this chick's doing the same shit he is. So now he is falling victim to what he has put other girls through during this train. Karma. Yes.
And also the look in the mirror.
Yeah.
And the self-realization
right.
Actualized in front of you.
Right.
And at that point, in that part, your movie makes sense because this whole time he's idolizing this fucking lifestyle.
Yes.
You're not idolizing, he's romanticizing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. But he's still looking for something and he thought he found it.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not as far advanced as he is right now. She's not even thinking about it yet.
Right. He's faced with looking at himself in this track.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then it's a good song.
It's a good song.
I like it a lot.
Yeah. Right.
After that is A Lonely Night.
Is this Chromeo? Did they fucking write this song, dude? Because it sounds like a Chromeo track.
Yeah.
The instrumentation on it. Is this another Max Martin one?
Uh-huh.
I love this one too.
Okay. All right. Good.
Yeah. I wrote Chromeo is a good thing.
This song is funky, dude.
Yeah.
Heavy funk influence thrown in there.
Yeah, that's what Chromeo does.
Okay. I don't know much about Chromeo. That's why you got the blank stare there.
My note on this one is the pre-chorus leading into the chorus is once again masterful.
Yeah. There you go. Not even knowing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Go ahead.
So the pre-chorus and the chorus on this thing is so Michael Jackson. Holy shit. Yeah. It's like, it almost feels like, now that I'm thinking about it, when you mentioned Max Martin on there, it's almost like he did research about The Weeknd and was like, if you're influenced by this guy, let's do it.
Let's dig in.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's let that shine.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So this one in my movie was a one night stand to get over the last girl.
Gotcha.
He's like, yeah, see, I'm fucking back on.
Yeah. Right. It's like one last party.
Yeah. It's like, this is a lonely night. I'm sorry. I know that you want more, but you know what? I don't want more. You know?
Yeah.
He's flipping it. He doesn't want to be a victim anymore, so he made a victim.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
and
makes
it's
sense.
shitty. But if you're a dude who's gone
this.
through this trajectory, you've done this before.
It's almost a rite of passage.
Yeah.
You
and
learn from it. It's not a good thing to do.
Right.
You know, you realize that afterwards that you still have to process that same shit.
Yeah.
But it's definitely part of like growing up.
Right.
If someone's like, just go get laid, man.
Yeah, right.
Fucking fuck her, dude. Or fuck him, man.
Right.
Fuck that guy. His butt. At number 13.
Attention.
This is a song that's good on its own.
Yeah.
But in the album, it gets lost to me.
Okay. All right. I maybe put it into my movie here because now, whether it's the same girl, I don't know. Maybe it's the girl after the one night stand. I don't know. But this is basically, look, I feel it too, but it's not real.
Yeah.
You know, because the whole song is basically her telling him, like, this is what I want. And he's like, you know, I feel it, but it's not what I want.
Right.
You know? So he's like still holding on to this like predator type thing, but also is like loosening up to it to like, okay,
sure.
you know, maybe he's loosening up already. It's only taken a couple songs, but he's like he's weakening. His Starboy is weakening.
Right.
You know?
How funny is he's like a superhero?
Yeah.
And his power is fucking all the girls in his city.
Yeah. And then his weakness is falling in love.
Right. And so it's like, yeah, he tries to stay away from it.
Right.
Instinctually. I mean, I like lost the narrative on the next couple of tracks because I felt like this wasn't doing anything. They weren't doing anything to add like another dimension or another layer that was necessary for the story.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like and like I said, I like the music on it, but I stopped listening to the narrative because I was like, am I learning anything new about this character? You know what I mean?
So weird because this is honestly where the narrative picked up for me.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're the person that he was thinking about when he put this album together.
Yeah, maybe.
It wasn't me.
But yeah, he's weakening in that song. Next song, Ordinary Life, this is his look in the mirror.
Okay.
This is where he's looking in the mirror going, Jesus Christ, what the hell am I doing?
Okay.
And you know who wrote this song?
Who?
Max Martin.
Did he really?
Yes.
I didn't like this one.
No?
I mean, I like the song, but I said it's not a bad song, but cut it.
Yeah. See, I thought this song may be the most important song on the fucking album.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. This is where things are starting to actually catch up to him. He's hitting the wall now.
Right.
He's hitting the fucking wall because the very...
So this is the peak of his trials and tribulations of a character's storyline.
Yes.
This is the moment where he's like, I need to make a decision.
This is not an ordinary life.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Yeah. I kind of... Yeah, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's fine. I'm just thinking in my head. I feel like I kind of got the hints of that from an earlier song,
right?
So like my brain goes, yeah, we knew this was going to happen.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because of the foreshadowing.
Okay, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely knew. But I think this is the moment where it actually happened,
right?
Where he's like, I cannot keep doing this.
And so when I say like trim this song, cut the fat, what I mean for the story is find a way to work elements of this stuff into your other tracks.
I see.
Musically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I felt the same way about 15 and 16.
Nothing Without You and All I Know.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nothing Without You, I think, reaffirmed what I thought about Ordinary Life because this is this could be a girl from before he went down this path, before he turned Starboy, or it could be a girl, the one that from 2 songs ago, where he's like, I feel it too, but it's not real. I don't know. It's somebody that he has formed a very, very strong connection with at some point in his life, whether it was pre-Starboy or during Starboy, whatever. I don't know.
Right.
But that's basically what it is. He's like going back to his true love. He's like, I was too busy trying to find you with someone else. The one I couldn't stand to be with was myself. He's coming to this realization that I'm fighting with myself. I'm not even fighting with you.
Right.
You know, maybe the way I try to think of it was maybe a girl did him wrong. You know, whatever. That could be so many different things. Maybe he fucked up, she fucked up, whatever.
Yeah.
But this is what set him on the path to becoming Starboy.
Okay. I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
I felt a little bit, and to be honest with you, I also felt this way about 17. But I felt like at this point he was like, do you get it yet? What the character's going through, you know? And I'm like, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
You did a really good job earlier explaining it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. See, the way I took it, because you can take these last few songs and you can mash them together. Ordinary Life, he's hit the wall. Nothing Without You, All I Know, and Die for You. He is basically trying to convince this girl that everything you've heard about me, everything you've heard about Starboy, I'm better because I did that. I'm better. Those mistakes don't define me.
Right.
I'm better now, and I can love you better
than
I even could before because I've done this.
That makes sense too.
Yeah, like Die For You is basically I went through all of this. We went through all this.
The lyrics make more sense
so that I could realize I love you.
Yeah, and the lyrics, they make more sense now that you explain it that way. I still feel like if they never existed, I still would have landed at the end of the record with pretty much the same understanding of the character and the story that I had.
I like to think of it as, okay, so this is his, and this is the story he wanted to tell.
Yeah, for sure.
And
absolutely.
Finding her, getting back with her, getting her to come back, going back to her, all of this path wasn't easy. Right. So he had to take 3 or 4 songs to get it done.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I get that for sure. Yep. But yeah, I mean, so...
It turned into a more traditional R&B album.
Okay.
Like towards that end.
Yeah, and maybe that's kind of why I got lost, is because I was so entrenched in the style and the narrative that when things took a turn, I almost, like I said earlier, I felt like I was watching the director's cut of a movie. Okay. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think the director's cut is the original vision where everything was born from. Yeah. It's their creation. Yep. Let them tell the story.
I think that's a really, really good way to describe it.
So like I get why. And I totally respect him. And I think it's cool that even the label was probably like, yeah, we'll let you do an 18-track album. That's right. If you have a vision for it, I'll go for it. But like, number 16, All I Know, like it took a minute and a half for this song to start. Yeah. And I was like,
this is the one with Future.
And I was 4 songs into being like, what? Where are we going here? Yeah. What's happening?
Yeah. So I just told you what was happening. So now you know.
Yeah. I mean, my brain already knew all that, but I was like, everybody knows all that. And then 17, Die For You, I was just like, okay, this is turning into an M. Night Shyamalan movie where I don't understand where the ending is going to go.
See, again, that was a really important song to me. Right. He was telling her.
I feel like, lyrically, I feel like he could have incorporated key elements of those emotions that he's processing in these songs into the tracks before it and the last track.
I see. Yeah.
But the last track
could have shortened it up.
Yeah.
The last track.
Whew, Daft Punk Sandwich.
Dude.
These are the heels on the loaf.
This is a great song.
It's a great single.
Yeah. Yes.
Such a good idea to bookmark your album with singles because it makes the listener listen to the whole thing.
Yep. You got to go back through. Yeah. And it wraps up the story. Mm-hmm. I just wrote Jesus Christ. Like this song is perfect.
I wrote Daft Punk to the rescue.
Yeah. Okay. They're together now.
Yeah.
They're together, and it's not perfect, but they're working on it.
Yeah.
Starboy to I Feel It Coming. I mean, it's growth. It's growth.
And the album itself represents his own artistic growth too. Yeah. Because he definitely he matured, and the fact that he went from like a kind of an experimental look of R&B and what his approach was to going, I have such a fine and focused narrative that I'd like to accomplish with this in a 1-year setting is a very mature, huge leap for anyone to take as an artist.
It's crazy.
And he did a really good job with it.
Especially because at this time he was probably living like fucking Starboy himself.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't even just a character, like he was actually doing it.
Right. And to be self-aware enough to be able to capture it. It's the same kind of thing. I mean, obviously different in many ways, but how Fleetwood Mac was living in the moment during their record. Yeah. I feel the same kind of elements probably happened to him with this. Yeah. This is like the perfect song to be, how the first track is like the perfect opening scene for the soundtrack. Yep. This one's the perfect ending credit song because it's kind of open. Yeah. Gives you just enough information for you to kind of have fun with what's going to happen next in your head. Yep. But the trick to this that I love so much is you end it with the single that is in the same style as of the first track. Right. And it's been long enough so you want to hear it again. Yeah. So it's just this constant feedback loop of like, oh fuck, that song was great. I want to hear that first one again. Yep. And you just keep listening to the album over and over and over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's masterful.
Yeah, really good.
Yeah. It's growth. Ego to humble, lost to found. Yeah. This is kind of what I wrapped it up as.
I said Starboy is a fantastic step in the Weeknd's evolution, and I have so much respect for how mature and focused the entire scope of the album was. Yeah. And I just felt like if this thing was 10 or 12 tracks, I think 12 tracks would have been perfect. Mm-hmm. And if they got somebody else to be Lana Del Rey, I would have really appreciated that. But they didn't consult me at all beforehand.
I respect your views on it.
Yeah, and I'm looking at it as a pop album.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
I like it just the way it is.
Yeah.
All 18.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying.
You know, it's crazy because when I went through, I starred the ones that I thought could have been trimmed. That's a pretty long list.
Yeah.
Track 6, 8, 10, 14, 15, 16, and 17. With 8 and 14, I feel like they could have been reworked and the information could have been dispersed.
I think it would have sacrificed the story you wanted to tell.
Right.
To cut all those.
Mm-hmm.
In the way that he wanted to tell it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
You're right. You probably could have got everything across.
Mm-hmm.
Everything would have been fine.
But that's not the point of creating something.
But it
like
wasn't
this.
easy for him to come to all those conclusions, so he had to go through, and he wanted to.
And I understand that, like,
right.
You know, to him, it doesn't make sense without those tracks.
Right.
You know.
Yeah. Because I guess I was trying to think of it in his head.
Right.
You know.
Yep.
From your, you know, vast knowledge of pop music, I definitely get where you're coming from.
And I think about
I
it
just happen in this point not to really agree.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
and I know that, you know, I think this, you know, the jury's up on this one. I'm not sure if anybody really knows exactly if this is a fucking timeless record.
Oh, you were being serious?
Yeah, because I mean, I looked at reviews afterwards and I saw numbers all over the map.
Yeah,
and
that's crazy to me.
It's crazy because I mean, a lot of them were landing in the like 4 to 7 range.
Yeah, that's horseshit.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
It's such bullshit to just go, you know, yeah, it was a little long, 5. It's like, no, it's fucking great.
There's more to it.
The songs that got trimmed. Here's what I would have done if I was a Weeknd on this thing. I would have trimmed those songs. I would have released that as the initial record, and then I would have done a deluxe edition with all of them, or I would have done a EP afterwards that was Starboy Deeper Dive or something like that. You know what I mean?
That makes sense. Yeah. That makes sense. So yeah, after this one, it was My Dear Melancholy. Sorry, talk about him a little bit more. That was a good album.
Yeah, I haven't really heard it.
You haven't really heard that one? It's good.
It's a short one. It's just like 7 tracks or something like that.
It's not long.
Yeah, I feel like it was an EP, like a long EP.
And this one actually didn't get, 7. Yeah, it's pretty much an EP.
Yeah. Yeah, he could have done this. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, that one's okay. But the one I'm really thinking about is his latest one, After Hours.
I haven't really dove into this one yet because I feel like it's another, you know, occurrence of him being like, I have another story to tell you.
Oh, it's a whole nother story.
And I asked you, I was like, what the fuck is going on with the bandages on his face and shit? And all of a sudden it's a performance piece.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
Yeah.
And then I read a story about how one of his music videos, he calls out his ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
There's people who are lookalikes that are wearing the same bathing suits as them in there. And he's like, so it's pretty much like, yeah, you guys are kind of going crazy with this shit.
Yeah.
You probably explain it better than I.
Well, we should do After Hours at some point so I can really dig deep into it.
Sure.
Kind of like I did with Starboy, or we can both dig deep into it. But it's a good record, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a couple really good bangers. Blinding Light's a great song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's really, really fun to put the windows down and go.
Yeah. Dude's a talented songwriter.
He really is.
It's clear.
I was really excited when I heard that he was going to do the Super Bowl halftime show. I was like, oh, fucking right, you know?
Yeah.
But then there's always this worry of, fuck.
How much shade does he have in the performance?
Now he's everybody's.
Right.
Not that he wasn't big, but you know what I mean?
International
now he's
superstar.
Everybody's.
Right. Like your parents are going to be like, hey, ever heard of that guy, Weeknd?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like my dad.
Right.
The other day I was talking, and we were talking about who was doing the Super Bowl halftime show. Goes, oh yeah, this guy with all the bandages, right?
And you're
what's
like,
he like?
Don't listen to it.
Fuck. I'm like, yeah, all right.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, which is fine. I like that more people are. Not that he needs more people. You know what I mean? Though.
I do know.
It's just another level.
Because on one hand, it's like, this is mine.
Yeah,
everybody,
kinda, yeah.
Well, like everybody who listens to music listens to it for their own personal reasons. So if you want to admit it or not, everyone has this connection to their favorite artist. Like,
right.
It's kind of from me.
Yeah.
But also, when you become like so popular that like even your grandparents know about it, it has an effect.
Yeah.
We're all human still.
Yeah.
I mean, remember when Facebook was just a thing for college kids, and now you delete your Facebook because your grandma is posting on your wall every 30 seconds?
Yep.
I mean, it happens when you have a
your
global...
grandma's like, Blue Lives Matter. You're like, shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Stole the election.
Storm the Capitol.
So yeah, I get that. I mean, and that's part of the fear of watching someone blow up is this going to affect who they could have been without the blow up?
Yeah, the cool thing with him is I do think he is so goddamn just his own thing.
Yeah.
That he's not really going to let it.
And I hope he doesn't, because he's pretty clear in this album that he doesn't. He's like, I'm not who you want me to be.
Yeah, right.
I wasn't fucking made by Drake.
Like,
I'm my own person, dude.
And cool, I won a Teen Choice Award. I think it's dumb.
Right. He's like, yeah, I love Nickelodeon, and the gag's super sick. But
yeah. Now I want to do After Hours.
I haven't even heard more than the singles on it.
Yeah, it's I think that it's really good. I don't think that it got as much attention. I could be wrong. I don't know if it got as much attention as like his previous releases, but
yeah.
Wow, okay. It's got better reviews than all those other ones.
I feel like he gets more attention now.
Yeah.
Is that like there's a difference? Like his record got attention on this one. Now he gets attention.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yeah. Wow. Like this, like if I were to put together my 2020 list, like we said we were going to, but never did, this would be in top 5 2020.
Really?
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe even top
Was
3.
it on your top Spotify?
Yeah.
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 I was so surprised by my top Spotify listen this year. It was weird.
Yeah, mine was pretty much dominated by Run the Jewels.
Yeah. Mine was that Essinger album.
Oh, yeah.
By a long shot.
Yeah.
Confusing. Didn't know. Apparently,
Didn't even know you.
When someone's like, "Hey, what was your favorite album of 2020?" I go, "I guess it was this one."
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't remember listening to it.
I remember listening to it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully the halftime show goes well for the Weeknd tonight.
I know.
Either way,
I'm hoping for like some cool reveal with like the performance aspect of what he's been doing with the bandages.
Yeah, maybe it's all leading right up to it.
I hope so.
That'd be kind of cool.
I would love that.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed this episode. Are we done?
I think we're done.
Right,
the album's
cool.
over.
Yeah, the album's over. We're done. Go give it a listen. Go listen to Starboy.
Yeah, 2016, The Weeknd. It's on all your streaming platforms, just like we are. Like, share, review.
Yes.
Hey,
while I've got everybody's attention here.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Off the charts trading.
Stonks.
I'm gonna put the link.
We like this stock.
We are not Wall Street bets.
We like this stock.
A little bit. This is like a little bit of an ad. Sorry. I am also a stock trader, and I work for a company that we actually help people learn how to trade. We're not a pump and dump group like those douchebags with GME. We are an actual trading group.
You just pump and dump each other. Nailed it.
Gross. All right. I'll put the link to our server in the Apple description. Sam's a fucking dickhead, you know that? And also I will put the link to Coastal Collectibles. If you like sports cards, you like sports memorabilia, come check us out.
Cool.
All right.
Hey, man.
We will be back whenever.
Who knows?
I don't know.
I'll look at the releases for this week. See what's coming out.
Hopefully something good.
You know what we should do?
What?
Phoebe Bridgers next week because she's playing SNL tonight, and she's got up for 4
tonight. It must have been
yesterday.
Last night.
Yeah,
okay.
She's up for 4 Grammys.
Woo!
I want you to hear this album.
Okay, I'll do it.
Yep.
All right.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
See you next time.
Bye.